Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over ratios and also some other commodities that I don't normally go over in the daily updates. Some of them are really moving. They are breaking to the upside. So I'd like to cover those and I'll give you guys my financial opinion on everything. So let's dive in. I'm going to start with the platinum to gold ratio and work our way through a lot of these different ratios, see what they're doing. But this is the platinum to gold ratio. We call this kind of the Batman, which a lot of the times is a big topping pattern. And we went into this large consolidation period in a falling wedge formation, and we broke this to the upside in 2021. We've broken out, we've done a retest move, and now we're starting to move higher in the ratio. Platinum is outperforming gold. And I think platinum looks really good from a ratio perspective. We're down at 0.57%, or 0.57, not percent, but just 0.57. Very cheap. It looks good. We've broken to the upside. Platinum looks very good in relationship to gold. Platinum to palladium ratio, this thing is ultra cheap. This was the beginning of the other bull market in 2001. We were at a ratio basically where we are today. And we had a monster run where platinum outperformed palladium. We also have a ratio of 0.52, and it looks like just this whole bottoming section down here looks like platinum will outperform palladium with larger buying pressure, smaller selling pressure. And then looking at platinum to silver, platinum is cheap to silver. Anything down in this general vicinity is ultra cheap. The beginning of the last bull market in 99 or so, we were at a ratio of about 68, 69, 70. We ran it all the way up to about 150 up here. This is a massive valuation gain against silver. Platinum did. And now we're back all the way down to 43, which means platinum is cheap. We broke out of this pattern to the upside and we're doing a retest move. And I would say platinum looks good. Now, I know some people, they'll ask me, like, what are my holdings and whatnot. I still own gold, platinum, and silver. I just weight some of these differently. I am overweighted these two metals here. I think they're both cheap, platinum and silver, physical metals. So I don't put everything in one basket. I divvy it up and have a basket of precious metals. Now, the gold to silver ratio. This is I'll just kind of back out and do a big picture view look real quick. Down here is ultra expensive for silver, ultra cheap for gold. You can see this kind of came all the way down. It pivoted all the way up, and we've been at this gigantic, I'll call it top. I'd say it's a double top in this ratio. The top one, top two, and it's got the throw over top. It's the slingshot cheetah top for the ratio. So here's your slingshot cheetah here. It just ran on down. Then we came back up, and I think we are going to see a big outperformance of silver in relationship to gold. We broke this long-term downtrend or uptrend line. There's your breakout, just a break lower. We came up and did a retest of the breakout, and now we are accelerating that move lower. I think silver looks fantastic. Now, we just looked at the platinum to silver ratio. If silver looks fantastic against gold, and it looks like it's going to rip it to the downside, and guys, I'm not saying it's going to go straight lower. It's a grind lower. This was a grind higher. As we go, I think we're going to have a move, and it could be very explosive to the downside in this ratio where silver just rips it. If this holds true, if platinum can outperform silver and it's cheap, then when I look at this, I mean, platinum could also rip higher with silver, even if it just maintains this ratio. If we compress against silver, then platinum is it's going to go to the moon potentially. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying the setup is there for that to happen. Last bull market, platinum outperformed silver in those types of market conditions. The liquidity is drying up. Makes me think that we could be delayed on platinum a little bit, but when the liquidity comes back, I think this thing's going to rip. So those are those ratios. Silver looks ridiculously awesome right here for the gold to silver ratio. Palladium to silver also looks good for silver, but it is still in this sideways channel. Still in the sideways channel. We're at the bottom of the channel, has not broken out to the downside yet. As this goes down, silver is outperforming. I do think that silver is going to have a vast outperformance at some point, and we will get down to maybe 15 or so of that ratio. Right now, we're at 83. Up here, silver is uber cheap against palladium. So that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a break lower for silver. Dow Jones Industrial Average to gold. Let's take a big picture view on this thing. It's expensive up here where gold is cheap, Dow Jones expensive, and we're kind of in the middle here. We came down to what is a cheaper area, and we've come on up, and I do think that this will eventually work its way lower. I think we're going to have I don't know, we'll call it a blow off top at some point in gold and a large bottom in Dow Jones. So I think this could compress way down over time, maybe even around 2, which means there's going to be a vast outperformance of gold. And you know, if you kind of draw this across, this could be a big double bottom. Maybe we only get back down to 5 or 6, or maybe it can go below it as it comes back down. But that's kind of what I'm thinking might happen there. Gold to oil ratio. Oil's been getting killed to the downside, and we're at a 1 to 25 ratio up here. So we came all the way back. I thought we were doing a retest here where we could break down and head lower. I do think that was going to be the case, but the strategic petroleum reserve releases around the world, I think, created this other move. I know people do not want oil to go up. They do not want it to go up right now. But we had a massive outperformance of gold, or I should say, of oil in relationship to gold. But if we come on down here, historically, 25 is cheap for oil. Oil is actually cheap. And if I'm seeing if I can see any, we could have a somewhere like there where we've got a downtrend line, and maybe we're just doing a little throwover where we head back lower. I don't think oil can go too much. I mean, it can in the short term, but I can't stay at $60 for a long period of time because too much production would get pulled back from the cost curve. So I do think that this is a cheap ratio. I think it's going to be a good area to be picking up oil companies as oil price is really low. And it shows that in the ratio here. The copper to gold ratio, it is kind of just moving sideways. Let's see if we can throw a pattern on this thing. Maybe something like this. And what this could be is a bear flag, which means there's the flag, could break out of this and head lower. A lot of these charts are signaling either the drying up of liquidity in the market, or there could be another sell-off event that occurs in the future if this is a flag pattern, which it very well could be. If that's the case, that means we could potentially hit something like another low coming back down, which would be an A, B, C correction or something like that. But that's the copper to gold ratio. I think copper inventory levels are really low, but in an environment where you don't have a lot of liquidity, that will also have an impact on how assets are being priced. I'm not going to go into all those. Let me go all the way down here. Dow Jones to crude oil. This guy, we've had a downtrend break. Dow Jones is outperforming crude in the short term. Moving on higher here. So crude had a nice outperformance, and then Dow Jones has broken to the upside. And I think that deals with the majority of how crude is trading as it's gone down quite a bit. But that's what I'm seeing there. I'm going to scroll down. We're going to look at some of these other ones. Nickel is just killing it, guys. Nickel looks ridiculous. We've had a long-term pullback here, consolidation, and it's starting to roll to the upside again. That's why some of the diversified mining companies are doing very well, because they have large nickel portfolios. And nickel looks like it wants to really take off here. So that is a big move here. So nickel looks really good. Palladium, just pricing palladium in dollars. And, I'm not as a bull in palladium as much. We had a nice little squeeze up here and then a break to the downside. I do think that it could go sideways to slightly lower over time, but we had a massive base that we've broken, a massive one to the upside. So big picture view, though, I do think it's going to go higher over time, but just not during these market conditions, perhaps. It needs some liquidity out in the markets, and usually platinum, gold, and silver outperform palladium when they're going up. Palladium usually goes sideways to lower under those market conditions. Cocoa futures, big picture view, we're just stuck here, stuck in the mud. And we've been moving sideways for cocoa futures. You zoom in, we've broken all these to the upside, so it doesn't look that bad. We do have some selling pressure all in here of these large down candlesticks. Makes me think we could potentially head lower in the short term, but big long term, I'm looking, we could break this big resistance level in a wedge, kind of a wedge form in there. We get into the tip of this, which we've been doing, maybe we can break, but I don't see any evidence of it yet. We still need to break this big downtrend line. Wheat. So wheat looks like this is a big double top. Here's the two tops. We have large selling pressure coming down here. And to me, it looks like wheat is going to head lower. Here we've broken our support zone or uptrend line, and wheat looks like it wants to go lower. Soybeans, soybeans doesn't look too bad in the short term. Here's soybeans, big picture view, big resistance level. We are at a breakout, a retest, and now we're playing with this last resistance line, potentially. And here we are heading higher. I don't know the inventory levels of all this stuff for soybeans. I don't really trade these as much. I don't trade them at all, actually. But this looks good to move higher in the short term. Overall, though, is this a shoulder, head, shoulder that will develop? We'll have to find out. Corn also, just let me see here. It's just moving sideways. If you back out, it does look like this could be a kind of a shoulder, head, shoulder, and then a fall down here or something. So I do think corn does look a little bit bearish. We've got kind of bigger selling pressure moves up here, and we could see a move on lower. Looking at, I don't know if they released the PPI November 20. Nope, they haven't released that yet. So there's no updates there. The M2 to GDP slightly lower. That's your velocity. Velocity there, inverted velocity. Gold to M2 money supply. This thing looks very cheap for gold. We've got the double bottom. That's kind of this guy here. Double bottom type pattern. Gold will look like it should outperform against the M2 money supply at some point here. But this is a big long-term pattern. This is going to take time. It's not going to be easy or quick, I should say. This is 2001 all the way to about 2011. Now we're coming on back, and it's going to take some time for this to all work and play out, I think. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Those are a lot of the ratios there. And, of all of those that I've seen, the ones that look the best, I would say, is silver and platinum. Those two stick out quite dramatically to me. And if you look at those charts from a charting perspective, gold looks fantastic to move higher from a big long-term perspective. Silver also is killing it here. Nice, good momentum. We really need to break the 27 level and get up above that. We get above that, I think we're going to have a big move. I don't know how high this thing's going to go. It could go, well, let's take a look. Silver, if this is kind of the move here, we'll call it the first kind of wave here. I think it's possible to get up here. Let's see what it did last bull market here. So this broke out. I'll take it from here to here. Oh yeah, it went all the way over. Yeah, it's possible to get up in the hundreds, low 100s maybe. It depends if people get scared, but I think we could get way up here if we get enough momentum. And I'm not saying we're going to go straight up there, but it's possible. And then platinum, back out here. This was the first move here. Yeah, that did better than 4.236 to the upside. We had a big bull market there. So if I were to take, I'll just take it like from here to here. 4,000 something dollars is probably what I'd see in platinum. So that's what we've got there, guys. Just wanted to kind of touch on those. I think those are the two best areas at this exact time looking at the charts. They're in stride too. They've broken out of patterns. They're in stride. They're moving higher. So platinum and silver and gold look very good. But that's what I've got for today. If you guys need help with anything commodity related, definitely sign up for the platinum-value.com, the platinum membership. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.